Hi, it's Abby with the Bead Place, and today we're going to show you how to make the fun party heart pendant. You'll need 12 gauge wire, size 8 triangle beads, and some 26 gauge craft wire. I have about a foot of 12 gauge aluminum wire here. The first thing that I'm going to do is bend it in half. Now it doesn't have to be exactly in half. You can make it a little bit crooked, and notice how as I bent it in half I kind of kept going to create this little loop at the bottom. This is going to be the point of the heart. So if your point was over to the side a little bit and your bend was not exactly in half, that would just kind of make a lopsided heart, and those are really cute too. So the next thing that I'm going to do is take my chain nose pliers. Normally when you're doing this type of spiral you'd want to start with the round nose pliers, but since this aluminum is large wire, large gauge wire, and since the aluminum is very soft, we're going to use a chain nose pliers, one with a smooth flat surface to the inside to prevent denting the wire. So the first thing that I'm going to do is start to curl the end inward, and I'm using the very tip of my pliers and I'm grabbing the very tip of the wire. So I've bent inward like this, and I'm going to just continue to spiral inward. And you can use your pliers for the rest of it, or once you get going you can even start to use your fingers to do the rest, so whatever you prefer. You can correct it and make it really tight or really loose, doesn't matter one bit. And you want to go in and do the same thing to the opposite side. So bend inward on itself, just like this, and continue to spiral inward. And these look really cute when they're not exactly perfect, so do what you want to do to make it look how you want it to look. So you want to spiral inward until you have about the size that you want it to be, and then you're just going to kind of shape the heart how you want it to be so that it kind of looks like an abstract heart. And the next thing that you want to do is work the wire so that these 2 points here touch. So just kind of bend it. Just like this. The next thing you're going to want to do is cut a length of 26 gauge craft wire that's equal to about your arms stretched out wide, so your whole wingspan. So you're going to cut a short length of that wire off, and we're going to use that short piece of wire, let's say this is about 4 to 5 inches. It doesn't really matter at all. We're going to use that to anchor these two hearts, heart loops or lumps or whatever you call it together. So what I like to do is take the end of the wire and put it right through, right there, and grab onto it. So I have it right through here. I'm grabbing onto it. Then I'm going to take the opposite end of the wire and basically sew through it and just coil the two pieces together. And really don't overthink it, just coil them together. And it's okay if it's a little sloppy. The sloppier, the cuter. Just coil around until it is secure. So it starts to look like that. And if you want to, you can use your fingers or your pliers to kind of tighten and straighten the coils. But like I said, if it's not perfect, it'll just look kind of cute. So this is what I have so far. What we're going to do with the ends is just cut them off and kind of tuck them down. Either use your fingernails or your pliers. Doesn't really matter. If you have fingernails, you can use your fingernails. If you don't, you can always use your pliers. So you can just kind of tuck it down, or if you feel like it's not wanting to tuck down, what you can do is kind of tuck it in between the two wire or thicker gauge wires. Whatever floats your boat. Okay, so this is what we have so far. The next thing that we're going to do is take the end of the other wire, the one that we cut that little piece off of, and we're going to anchor on. So I'm going to start right here at the top of the heart, and I'm just going to coil a little bit of that wire on. You want to wrap around about 2 to 3 times just to kind of get a solid anchor. And again, don't overthink it. It's not really super important to make sure that your coils are all in the same direction. If you feel like that's important to you, maybe keep track of that. And it's not really super important to make sure that your coils are so tight that it's not going to slip on the wire, because once you get the beads on, it's not going to matter much. So we've anchored on. Now to the very end of the wire, I'm going to add as many triangle beads or seed beads, doesn't matter what you use, but I'm going to add as many as it takes for me to fill up the empty space in the heart. So what I'm doing basically is I'm figuring out, okay, I need so many beads to get from point A to point B. And my rule of thumb, or what I have found works the best for this particular project, if you're not sure if you need one more or one less bead, always go with one less, because if you go with one too many, it's going to end up looking kind of like it's sitting up on top of the heart instead of actually inside the heart. So here we go. Looks like that. So now we're going to take the wire and just coil down on this opposite side. And you want to try your best to keep the wire from kinking, but it's okay if it kinks a little. It's not going to be a deal breaker. Okay, so coil about 2 to 3 to 4 times, and this is what we have. So now what I'm going to do is add more beads. I'm going to figure out how many beads it's going to take me to go from here to here. So I'm going to do that and come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. And I'm just going to kind of keep filling this in a zigzag motion, and I will show you how to finish it off once I get there. Okay, so I am adding the very last bead. I am just kind of coiling around. This is what I have. So you'll notice that my numbers have decreased and I'm down to 1. I've just got one last coil to do. Just like that. And the very last thing that I am going to do is just take my flush cutters and trim it off. And there we go. Just takes a jump ring either on this side or this side, depending on which angle you want to hang it at. You can add a little charm to the bottom if you'd like, or just wear it as is. So thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, comment if you have any questions, share the video with your friends, and as always, have fun creating.